April the 4th, 2022. We have just begun the second quarter of 2022, and it's an exciting time to be born and to be alive and to be accomplishing all the goals that God has purposed in us. So thank you for joining me today. Today, we're talking about how to manage stress. Stress is so important in knowing how to handle it because we will always have stress. There will not be a time in life where stress will not be a part of our lives. How much stress we have, how often we have that stress, and how we manage that stress, those are the keys to managing stress. Well, not the keys, those are some things about stress that is just how it is. And since we can't get around it to a certain degree, we need to learn to manage it. And also, too, there's things that we can do that will maybe cut down, possibly depending on the situation, on the amount of stress that we have. So that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to give you some tips to how to manage stress, and also too how to cut down on the amount of stress that you have, potentially, again, depending on the situation, because everybody's situation is different. But you can definitely begin to balance your life better with some of the tips that I'm going to give you today that will hopefully cut down on the amount of stress that you have. And then when you do have stress in your life, which we cannot avoid, that you can manage it better. So before we get started to the meat of the matter, please like the page on Facebook and share the feed. We're on Full Life Communications on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We're not broadcasting live on Instagram, just Facebook and YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, like the video, share the video, and click the notification bell so you'll know when I'm on and you won't have to think about it. So thank you so much for subscribing and liking the page and the videos. Full Life Communications. So how to manage stress. Stress is a given. It's going to happen. None of us can get around it. And again, balancing our lives better can help us to hopefully cut down on the amount of stress that we have. But again, that depends on the situation. Different times in our lives, we have more stress and we have less stress. It just depends on what's going on. And then there's many things that are outside of our control that goes on in our environment, in our society. It's been a very stressful time in our society the past few years with what's been going on, with many people passing away because of the sickness and disease that's been going on in the past couple of years, that to no fault of ours, it happened. And now we have to be able to manage the stress, the fallout that has happened because of it. And so we have to learn to live a little bit differently in order to manage the stress that has happened the past couple of years. And that's just one thing. There was stress before that happened and stress that has come since that has happened. So we're living in more stressful times in the past couple of years. So we have to learn how to manage it all by creating lifestyle balance. And how do we create lifestyle balance? Well, we do some things that maybe we haven't done before, or we implement things that we know we need to, but we haven't taken time to do it because we're all so busy, right? And we are busy. I'm not trying to say that we aren't busy. However, are we busy doing busy work, or are we busy being productive? That's one thing to look at. Am I just doing busy work and this is really not productive and getting me anywhere? And so when you take a look at that and you reflect on that, there's some things that you could probably cut off of your list because it's really something that you can delegate to someone else, possibly in the family or even at work. Or you could cut it out off of your list altogether because it's not productive. It's not adding anything to your life, and it's just busy work just to do something. So we're going to live more intentionally. Remember, that's one of the words that we've been talking about with midday motivation. We want to live intentionally because when we live intentionally, we get a better result. So looking at those things that's just busy work and not adding productivity to your day and to your week and to your life. And so when we look at those things, so the things that come to bring stress in our lives can it be in our family, in our workplace, in our social life, in our friendships. In any situation, there could be stress. There's good stress and there's bad stress, but we're talking about the stress that's negative, that comes to impact us in negative ways. So we always want to reflect on what's going on in those different circles that we're in: friend, family, workplace, social environments, our profession, anything of that nature. And again, what I talked about last week, Who are those people who you have in your circle? Some people in your circle could be causing you undue stress. And so if that's the case, you need to reflect on who's in your circle and who is their season up. And maybe their season up is up. That's why they're causing stress in your life. So we always want to be mindful to constantly assess and reassess who's in our circle, who has our ear. If you're finding yourself stressed by an individual or individuals, it's time to reassess who they are and where they belong in your life. And so our mindsets, we talked about that last week too, our mindsets can cause us stress. How we think about money, we don't think properly about money, it could cause us stress in our financial situation. How many times have we suffered through financial situations because of our own doing, because of our own mindset about stress? Now we're in debt because of overspending and really nothing to show for it. It's not like, we spent it on owning things. We spent it on frivolous things. And now we're in debt, nothing to really show for it. And I'm stressed. So when we learn how to deal with money better, and then we follow those tenets that we learn, we have less stress about money. And so hiring a financial advisor could be one of the ways that you learn how to handle money if you're not good at it. And that's investing in you. And when you invest in you, that makes your life much less stressed. So this is where we're getting the balance in life, because now, as opposed to just haphazardly spending our money, we're investing in ourselves by going to the person who's a professional in that matter, helping us to learn how to budget, how to invest, etc. And now I'm feeling much better. My money is working for me rather than me working for it. And now I'm not overspending, or at least overspending as much. I know how to budget better, and I know where my money is going, and I feel much better about that. So I have much less stress about money. Finances are a big area of stress for adults, a huge area of stress. So if that's an area of stress for you, you may want to look at hiring a financial advisor, or just, getting a book, a self-help book on budgeting, so you can do something different. But do something different if you're finding yourself stressed about your finances and how to budget and how to really do right by your money, which is doing right by yourself. So one of the other things you can do to manage stress, and this comes along with when I was talking about assertiveness last week. And some people will have to grow into this, because this is not an easy thing for people to do, especially if you're not an assertive communicator, which is saying no. No is a complete sentence in and of itself. There needs no explanation. But although people will try to guilt you into, well, why? Why can't you? When you say no about something, or try to say no about something, my no is my no. I don't need to justify my no. If I said no, that means no. Now, if I choose to give an explanation, but I can't do it because, or no because, then that's fine. But technically, I don't have to. And I can stand on my no, and my no is firm. Now, if we tend to be people pleasers, saying no is hard. That's why I was saying you may have to grow into that by learning how to be more assertive, because it's difficult if you're a people pleaser and you're not saying no a lot. But you can't, not so much a lot when necessary. Let me put it that way. But you can't be everything to everybody. That's stressful. You're trying to meet the needs of Tom, Joe, Sally, Sue, yourself, your children, your husband, your wife, your friends. You can't be everything to everybody. It's too much. So you have to begin to say no in order to achieve lifestyle balance. You pick and choose those things that are right for you at any given moment. This month, you might be able to do more than last month, because maybe there's less things on your plate this month. So you can say yes to more things, or vice versa. So take a look at what's going on in your life, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, how that's affecting your decision making, and begin to say no to those things that you know when you need to say no to things. But you're looking at the person in their eye. They're looking back at you. You're saying, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings if I say no. Or what are they going to think about me if I say no? Are they still going to be a friend if I say no? These are all the things that I know that people say. I hear it all the time, that the reasons why they don't say no. And again, a lot of times it goes back to our childhood issues, because of how we were raised in our environment and things of that nature. But you can become assertive and say no when necessary. There's nothing wrong with saying no. And if you say no to someone and then they're no longer going to be your friend, I doubt if they were truly your friend in the first place. Because if a friend can't accept no, then there's a problem in that relationship. More than likely, that friend probably has said no to you. But that's something for you to work out, reflect on, and see where you have been overextending yourself, therefore causing yourself stress. And now you take a look at that and, like, I'm not going to overextend myself anymore, or at least not as much. Baby steps. And say no when I know I just need some rest, or I have too many things on my plate and I can't fit that in. And so I'm going to say no, and it's okay. Give yourself permission to say no when it's right for you. So that's the next tip. Taking a nap. Taking a nap is power nap in the middle of the day or whenever, because our schedules are different. If you work late at night, if you work, overnight, or a typical 9 to 5, so to speak, taking a nap could be just the ticket to help you to de-stress throughout any given day. A 20-minute power nap, 15, 20-minute power nap, 30-minute power nap can rejuvenate you. And now you're able to be much more energized and your mind is a little clearer. Your whatever you may have been feeling prior to taking the nap. Now I've taken a nap and I'm getting up and I'm feeling better. And now I can get back on to the rest of my workday, my evening, whatever the case may be. So sometimes taking a nap could be just the thing that you need when you're feeling stressed. Nap is in my vocabulary. I can't live without taking a nap. I've been that way since I was a child. Well, children take naps in kindergarten and all that, and all that type of thing. But even as a teenager, I've always been one to take naps, and it does me good. I don't think I could live without taking a nap. Sometimes my naps are too long, so that's what I have to take a look at. But taking a nap can definitely help to de-stress. Having a quality conversation with a friend. Again, quality being the operative word there. It's not quantity, it's quality. Having a quality conversation with a friend can help to de-stress. If there's a matter that's on your mind, can help you to de-stress. Or sometimes just chit-chatting, talking with a friend and laughing. Laughter is medicine for the soul. It can help you to de-stress. So sometimes take a moment, call a friend, have a laugh, and it will go a long way to de-stressing. Taking some quiet time to yourself. Find a few minutes here and there throughout your day or throughout your weeks. And know everybody's busy. Taking a few minutes here and there to just sit, relax, and rejuvenate. Put on some relaxing music, nature sounds that's just quiet. You can find a quiet space. And sometimes that's in your car. I know it's in the car for me. And a lot of my clients sit in their car when they're having sessions, or they sit in their car to de-stress because they know as soon as they go in the house, the kids are going to want their attention. And so it's just, I'm relaxing in my car, quiet time, listening to music, listening to sermons or your favorite motivational speakers, scriptures, whatever is your thing to help you to relax. Take that time to do it. And you don't have to use a lot of time. You could take 5 minutes here or there. You'll be surprised how much that will benefit you. Meditation is another thing. I'll meditate on the scriptures or meditating on affirmations, saying today is going to be a great day. I'm meditating on today is going to be a great day. I have greatness in me. And a lot of times I'm closing my eyes right now because when I'm meditating or in my quiet time, I'll have my eyes closed because that helps to center me and helps me to block out whatever's going on around me because I don't want to be distracted because I'm trying to center myself. I'm trying to gain some peace, some clarity, and de-stress. So I'm quoting my affirmations. I'm quoting my scriptures. One of my favorites is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I will quote that. I will quote that. And I know that God has me and I can do all things through him who strengthens me, through Christ who strengthens me. So I'll quote that. So then I begin to take on that mindset. And now I begin to feel less stressed because I've just meditated on the word, my affirmations, and now I'm feeling better. So you can do the same thing. Meditation in the morning, meditation in the afternoon. And again, since it's something that it doesn't take a lot to do, you could do it anywhere. You could do it right at your office while you're at work, taking a few minutes on your lunch break, or even if it's not, you just putting your head back for a moment just to de-stress or just to go from one thing to another, from a meeting now to a client, or whatever the case may be, when you have to shift your mindset, let me take a couple minutes to deep breathe. Another tip: deep breathing helps to slow the heart rate down, and to help to make you calmer. So you do some deep breathing, you quote your affirmations, you quote your scriptures, and now I'm feeling better. You'll be surprised how well that works. Begin to implement some of these things today, because none of these things that I'm mentioning today cost you any money, right? All it costs is a little time, but it's an investment. That's the type of cost. It's an investment in you. So it's not a cost where it takes away. It's a benefit because it's an investment in you. And this will help you achieve lifestyle balance. So therefore, having less stress possibly in your life. But when the stress does come, this is how I'm managing it. So we can have less stress and we can manage stress better by doing some of these things that I shared with you today. Because remember, the stress is going to come. No one can live a stress-free life, totally stress-free. No one at all. So because it's going to happen, take these tools, and there's many others. These are just some ones that I wanted to give you today. Take these tools, begin to implement them, because they're very implementable strategies that you can use anywhere, anytime. As there's some stress management tips that you need set aside time for, say like exercising and going to the gym. Well, if you're at work, you can't, unless it's on your lunch hour or something like that, you can't take an hour or whatever to go to the gym. So sometimes you need more set aside time for stress management. But these are some of the tips that I gave you today. Most of the tips I gave you today, these are things you can do anywhere in the moment. So therefore, it'll help you throughout your day. When you're making your stress management strategies for yourself, you always want to have some things you can do anywhere, and then you want to have some go-to ones that you can do when you have more times that you have set aside. So therefore, in any given situation, you can pull out of your toolbox what strategy is right for the moment. Deep breathing, you can do that anywhere, anytime. Self-talk is a part of self-care. Positive affirmations when you're doing that self-talk. You can do that anywhere, anytime. So a lot of these strategies, I want you to know you can do them every day throughout your day, so you can begin to have more balance in your day, and that will help manage the stress. So those are the tips for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me. Those of you who are watching, I don't see anyone on the feed. I see numbers there, but if you don't say anything like hi or your name or anything like that, I can't shout you out because I don't know who's watching, but I know you are watching because I see the numbers. So thank you so much for watching Midday Motivation. This is Life with Sharon. And today we talked about how to manage stress that is going to come. We know it's going to come, and we need to manage it better. But we can also, with lifestyle balance, cut down on some of the stress that we have if we balance our lives a little bit more. We're all running around doing so much, but there are some things that we can do differently. We just have to reflect on our time, our day, and how we're investing or spending. Remember, two different words, that time, and then do what we need to do accordingly in order to make better decisions about how our day flows with what we're doing. Because now I've cut some things out that I realized was busy work. It wasn't productive. And so now I'm managing my life better, which now cuts down on the stress. And when the stress comes, I have these tips to be able to manage the stress when it does come. So that's our Fruitful You. Hi, Fruitful You. Thank you for watching. Love you. So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, join me for pressing through the difficult times. Pressing through the difficult times. We all have difficult times in life, and sometimes it's just hard to press through. So what do I have to do to be able to tap in to that thing in me, to be able to reach down and press through regardless of what the difficult times are bringing me? Because again, we can't get around difficult times in life. Life is going to happen regardless, but we still need to press through to get to that other side that we all say we want to get to. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Join me tomorrow, 12:30, for another live episode of Life with Sharon, Midday Motivation. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all for supporting the show, engaging with the show. I hope the tips have been helpful for you today. God bless you. Have a God day. Shalom.